Logan. You're here already?
I never keep my dates waiting, you know that. How you doing? You about ready to go? We've got those babysitters we have to relieve.
I'm sorry for the delay, but there was a tape I wanted to see, and it ran overtime.
Oh, it's no problem. I'm sure for a few minutes late, it won't cause any difficulty. After all, Deborah does have Steve to keep her company, so I don't think it'll be a hardship, if you know what I mean.
Now, what did you do with your day? Did you see April and the new baby?
Yeah, I did, barely. Had a little run-in with Raven about lunchtime. She happened to be in the area, one of her favorite phrases, so she dropped by for a little arm wrestling, but... Well, I got away. April and I had a quick lunch, went over to the hospital and saw Julia. I tell you, that little girl is gorgeous. Gonna have to tell Jaimey about her when we get home.
I knew she'd be beautiful with two such handsome parents. Who does she look like?
Oh, Draper, no question about it. I'm not sure that that's so good, though. I mean, every time April looks at that girl, she's gonna see Draper's face. I don't know whether that'll be a comfort or not.
Excuse me, dear.
Sure.
Yes. Oh, yes, thank you. It's Deborah.
Oh.
Yes, dear.
Geraldine, I've been trying to reach you all day. They keep telling me you're busy.
Yes, I'm so sorry I missed you. I was at a taping. I'm afraid I was playing the big executive, and I asked them to hold all my calls.
Yes, well, I couldn't reach Logan either. His secretary told me he left.
Oh, he's here. He came by to give me a lift. Deborah, is there something wrong?
Yes, Geraldine, I'm afraid there is. It's Jaimey. He's ill.
Oh, my God.
What is it?
He's been restless all day, and about an hour ago, he developed a little fever. And I couldn't get in touch with either you or Logan, so I did the next best thing. I did what you told me to do in case of illness. I called Dr. Santos.
But of course, that was quite right.
Geraldine, what is it?
It's Jaimey. He's sick. I think you better talk to him.
Deborah, what's wrong?
No, we don't know what's wrong. But Dr. Santos is with him right now. All we know is that he developed a high fever all of a sudden.
Well, he wasn't quite himself last night. He was a little warm, but there wasn't any fever then. Did you take his temperature by any chance?
No, to tell you the truth, I didn't. I didn't trust myself, so I left it up to Dr. Santos.
Could I talk to her, please?
Sure, hold on a second. Doctor, I've got Jaimey's father on the phone. Could you speak with him, please?
Of course. Mr. Swift?
Yes, doctor. What's the report?
It's some kind of pulmonary infection, perhaps bronchial, though he doesn't have much of a cough. However, Jaimey's fever is quite high.
How high?
I think it might be best not to take any chances. I'd like to take Jaimey to the hospital so we can keep a close watch on him.
Doctor, you're starting to scare me.
I'm sorry. That's not what I meant to do. I'm not saying there is anything critical, but a fever close to 104 can't be ignored.
Well, that certainly sounds serious, Doctor.
Oh, children have sometimes higher fevers than most adults could tolerate. I'm not saying, I'm trying to minimize what's happening, but I certainly wouldn't like to take any undue risks.
No, of course not. Well, whatever you think is best, take him straight to the hospital and I'll join you there, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. See you soon.
Logan, what is it? What's wrong?
You've heard as much as I have. Jaimey's suddenly developed a high fever, and nobody seems to know any more than that. I better get over to the hospital, so...
Well, I hope that offer of a lift still goes,
Well,
because
sure.
surely you don't think I'd go anywhere else.
Let's go.
Yes. Yes, right away, please. That's the address. Suite 12B. Okay. I'll get the baby ready to go.
May I help you?
No, there's really nothing you can do.
Well, it's okay if we come down to the hospital with you, isn't it?
Hey, Deborah, look, we have to be down at headquarters in a couple of hours.
Oh, no. I am going to the hospital. Steve, in fact, you could tell Captain Edison what's happening.
No way. I'm half of this babysitting team. I'm coming with you. Look, now, I don't want you to get upset about this.
I'm not upset, Steve. It's just very strange that all of a sudden he's sick. He was fine an hour ago.
Yeah, he didn't eat much, did he?
Logan said that thought he was coming down with a cold or something like that. He seemed all right to me.
Look, it's not your fault, and it's not my fault, so don't blame us,
I'm not
okay?
saying it's anybody's fault. We were here when it happened.
Yeah, I know, that's right. And it's a damn good thing we were, too, you know?
The thing I looked in on when we did. God, I wish that ambulance would hurry.
Mrs. Reddy's is going to be.
Did you hear anything about the ambulance?
Oh, they seemed a little bit dubious about getting one here in less than a half an hour. Evidently, there's quite a demand for them this time of the evening.
Oh, really? Let's see what I can do about that. Hello, Marshal? Marshal, this is Detective Guthrie, Monticello Police Department. Listen, you have a call for an ambulance at the Monticello Arms Hotel? You do? Right. Listen, I want that ambulance over here in about 10 minutes, okay? No, I don't owe you anything. That's your job. You do it. I want it here in 10 minutes or you'll be out driving a milk truck, you understand? I should have put a fire under him.
Emily, no, I'm not saying that you and your father are wrong. Just try to see it from my point of view.
We're not wrong. Now, how could we be wrong about something that's that important?
Well, maybe it was a mistake. Mistakes happen all the time, incredible mistakes. You know, there was a man almost convicted for murder one time because he resembled the murderer. The witness simply made a mistake.
Who was that?
I don't know. I mean, it's not important. I probably heard about it or read about it or something.
Kirk, I know that some people resemble other people, but that's just not the case as far as you're concerned. There's more than a resemblance. No, it's the fact that you came to this house in the first place.
Well, maybe that was an accident. You know, Emily, did it ever occur to you that I could have lost my memory an hour before I got here or a week before I got here? Maybe I wasn't an accident. How about that train wreck at Grand Falls? Or maybe a car accident?
Accident. You keep using that word over and over as if accidents accounted for everything that happens to people. Well, I don't believe that. And I don't want to believe that. There has to be more to life than just accidents, or it's just not worth living.
I know that. Life is worth living. And believe me, I realized it when I was lying near death up in that bed. I am grateful to be alive, Emily. But I want to know whose life I'm living.
I know. And you will, too, as soon as your memory comes back.
If my memory comes back.
It will, Kirk. I know it will.
Then it won't hurt to confirm my identity. Because that's what that fingerprint record will do.
Hello.
Daddy.
Hello, Angel.
How are you?
Okay.
You stayed such a long time at the hospital.
Well, I do have patients to see, Emily.
You didn't look well when you left here this morning.
You don't look too well yourself. Is anything wrong?
I'm sorry, that's my fault. I'm responsible for the look on Emily's face. Dr. Gault, I told her that I want to get a copy of Kirk Michaels' fingerprint record.
Daddy, please sit down. You don't look well at all.
Kirk, would you please tell your wife to leave her old father alone? I meet enough nurses at the hospital. I don't need any more at home.
You do look sort of pale. Can I get anything for you?
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. Seems to me, though, I ought to get you something, like a pill to quiet those peculiar notions you're having. I mean, what makes you think there is such a thing as a fingerprint record for Kirk Michaels?
Dr. Gault, you told me that I was involved with the police. Now, the police always take fingerprints for future identification or checking past records.
Yes, but Kirk wasn't in that kind of trouble. He was, well, I mean, you were only a boy.
But I was almost a legal adult when your wife brought me into this house.
Daddy, I told Kirk this whole thing is silly. Silly and ridiculous.
But it's necessary for me, Emily. Don't you see that? Look, regardless of how many times the two of you tell me who I am, who I think I am, there's a nagging doubt in the back of my mind that you're wrong.
But we're not wrong, Kirk. I told you why I hesitated about identifying you right off the bat, because of the past. Because I really hadn't forgiven you for what you did.
But maybe there's no need to forgive me. Because maybe I'm not the one who stole your money, and maybe I'm not the one...
Who eloped with me. Is that what you were going to say?
I'm sorry. That came out hurtfully, Emily, and I didn't mean to hurt you. But it seems to me that you, more than anybody else, would want to be sure.
But I am sure. I'm completely sure. And my identification is as good as any fingerprint.
Well, anyway, the whole question is purely academic. There aren't any fingerprints, so let's just forget the whole subject.
There, you see?
Yeah, I see. But it won't hurt to check with the authorities, will it?
Well, your criminal record, if you can call it that, was 10 years ago.
But Dr. Gault, there's no statute of limitations on criminal records.
that?
I know, I just know. If my name is in a police file somewhere, that file exists. And if I committed a felony, my fingerprints are in that file.
I assure you there were no felonies. Believe me, Kirk, believe me, I didn't take a hardened criminal into my house. I only allowed my wife to bring you here because she assured me that your crimes were minor.
Please, Kirk, it's not going to do any good to call anyone.
It'd simply be a waste of time.
Time? What else have I got but time? No. No, I'm going to call somebody. The police, the FBI, somebody.
Dinner is on the table. Didn't anybody hear me?
I'm sorry, Molly. I thought you'd just started dinner.
Well, it's in the oven now, and it's going to be out of the oven in 5 minutes. So if anybody wants some good hot food, let's see some action around here.
I'm afraid I've killed all the appetites in the room.
Oh? Well, I don't do the cooking for my health, you know.
You two go ahead. I don't feel like eating right now.
You don't feel like eating? For heaven's sakes, why not?
I had a bite at the hospital, Molly, just about an hour ago. Maybe I'll have something later.
It gets harder and harder to set a decent table in this house.
Don't say that, Molly. You've got another person to cook for now. Another place to set. And someone else to bully, too.
Oh, come on, let's go.
Can I help you?
Sure.
By the way, Mr. Michaels, do you carve?
I don't remember. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Oh, never mind. I'll do it myself.
Daddy, you sure you just don't want to sit with us?
No, you go ahead, honey. Enjoy your dinner.
Okay.
Dear God, what will happen if he does find Kirk Michaels' fingerprints? Oh, what have I done? I should have told Emily the truth from the first, that Kirk was dead. I should have told that young man who he really is. And now he'll find out for himself. He'll learn that he isn't Emily's husband. No, I can't let that happen. I have to tell her the truth. I have to tell him the truth. I should have done that from the very beginning. But if I do, what will happen then?
Daddy, something horrible has happened.
What is it, Emily? What is it?
He says he's not Kirk. He says he's someone else, someone called Draper Scott. Did you hear what I said? He says he's not my husband. He says he's someone else's, another woman. Oh, my God, I can't stand it.
I'm sorry, Emily. I'm sorry.
It's not true, Daddy. He is Kirk. He's wrong. I know he's wrong. Daddy, go upstairs and tell him he's wrong.
I can't do that, Emily. I'm the one who told him who he is.
You did what?
Well, I just couldn't help myself. I just had to tell him the truth. I was going to tell you, too. Now, please listen to me. From the moment I saw that young man in the bedroom upstairs, I knew it wasn't Kirk. It couldn't be because Kirk is dead.
No, you're lying.
He's dead, Emily. He was killed by the police almost 9 years ago.
No, you hate Kirk. That's why you're saying that. That's why you told him that he's someone else. You just want him to leave again.
No, please listen to me. Now, there was a newspaper story. I hid it from you. God help me. I really thought I could turn a lie into a truth, but Well, just pretending that some things never happened, but I must have been crazy. It was because of Will Finch, because of what he told me.
Daddy, please take it back. Take back what you're saying. Can't you see what it's doing to me? Daddy, I thought that you loved me. I thought that you cared about me.
Oh, I do, more than anyone or anything else in the world. That's why I did it. Because I was so worried that you wouldn't have anyone at all.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm very sick, Emily, and I won't be around much longer. That's why I was tempted to try anything, to make sure that you had a future, that you would have someone in your life. But for what I did, it wasn't right.
No, Daddy. You go upstairs right now, and you tell him that you lied. You tell him that he is Kirk Michaels, and he is still my husband.
No, Emily, no. No, his name is Draper Scott. He was in a train wreck in Grand Falls, and for some reason they thought he was dead. But he's alive. He's upstairs, and in Monticello, there's a family grieving for him.
No!
Yes, there's a wife and a child, too, a newborn baby.
No, I won't listen to any more. I won't!
Listen to the truth, Emily.
It's not the truth! You're lying! You're lying!
I thought you might just want to try some of this. Dr. Gault? Dr. Gault?
Molly, the pills are in my coat pocket.
Yes. Shall I call Miss Emily?
No, don't bother. I don't want to bother Emily about anything.
Captain Anderson sound hassled?
Well, he wasn't tickled pink. We've got 3 men out on sick leave as is.
God, I hope Jaimey gets better. Please let him get better.
He will. Geraldine, Logan.
Well, anything new?
Well, I don't know. We haven't heard yet.
Is the doctor with him now?
Yeah, the doctor's in there right now. She should be out in a minute or two.
You certainly got here in record time. Thank heavens for that.
Well, you can thank my partner for that. He said some magic words into the phone and got the ambulance to the hotel in about 6 minutes.
Well, thank you for that, Stephen.
Look, I don't want you to misunderstand. I don't think this is a matter of life or death. I'm sure it's not.
The point is, the sooner he could get treatment, the more sure he is of recovery.
Dr. Santos said that he had some kind of an infection. Surely they've got enough antibiotics in this hospital to cure just about any kind of germ there is.
Well, if they don't have the right one, they're going to have to invent it tonight.
Logan, I feel awful about this.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Deborah. Hope you're not blaming yourself. If there's anyone to blame, then I am. I didn't realize it was any kind of serious illness. It just seemed to me he was getting a slight cold.
Let's not hear any more talk about blaming, all right? I mean, unless we want to blame the bacteria.
Oh, doctor.
Dr. Santos?
Doctor, can you tell us anything about the baby's condition?
At the moment, we're getting ready to try to bring the fever under control.
Well, you can you? I mean, there's no reason not to think so.
It's gone up a degree since we left the hotel, Mr. Swift.
Up? What do you mean up? How could you let it go up? It was already through the roof.
I'm sorry. It's higher now. I mean, what can we do about that? The infection evidently is more serious than it appeared to be at first. We're doing all we can.
Doctor, even though the fever may be as high as you indicate, surely that doesn't mean necessarily that it's dangerous, does it?
Well, not if we can get the fever under control. We're just hoping that the antibiotic treatment will do that.
Well, you better do a lot more than hope, Doctor. A lot more. I mean, it's just a little boy in there. He's an infant. He hasn't even walked yet.
Yes, I know.
Doctor, exactly what is it that brings on a high fever?
A severe infection of some kind, of course. Where and how it started is just too many different possibilities. As a matter of fact, this isn't the only case like this we've had in the last few weeks.
Are you saying there's some kind of epidemic?
No, not that, but sometimes a strain of virus might be in the air, travels from one place to the other, usually striking infants and old people.
Doctor, there's no chance that this could be fatal, is there?
Not if we can bring the fever under control. Avoid complications like pneumonia.
Not exactly the answer I wanted.
I don't expect to lose that little boy, but it would be foolish of me to give you any guarantees.
Oh, my God.
I'm not being pessimistic. I just don't want to raise any false hopes in case the odds work against us. At the moment, I think they're in our favor.
You do? You do think they're in our favor. You're not just saying that because I'm standing here.
Mr. Swift, there is a Mrs. Swift, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Why?
I think it might be a good idea to let her know about this, don't you?
Yeah, yes, of course she's right. Raven has to know about this.
Logan.
Yeah?
Telephone's down the hall.
Oh, yeah, thanks.